Hi there. Good Thursday morning. The holiday weekend rush set to get underway.
Yes, but it's slow going for millions of Americans. It is May 21st. This is today. Rough start. Powerful storms taking their toll as the long Memorial Day weekend begins.
I've never seen flooding like this, guys.
Thousands of flights already canceled and delayed. This sinkhole on a runway at one of New York's busiest airports, not helping. Meanwhile, on the roads, drivers coping with downpours, traffic, and the highest gas prices in years. We'll have everything you need to know, including the full forecast. Breaking overnight, air scare. A Detroit-bound plane diverted to Canada over concerns a passenger may have been exposed to Ebola. U.S. officials enforcing new travel restrictions, barring that flight from entering American airspace. We'll have the very latest. Growing pushback. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle fighting to stop the $1.8 billion fund set up by the Trump administration to potentially offer payouts to allies.
I don't support it. I think you can't do that.
But the president not backing down. We're live in Washington. Wanted man. In a historic move, former Cuban leader Raul Castro indicted by the U.S. government. The Justice Department charging the 94-year-old with murder 3 decades after the Cuban military shot down 2 civilian planes. The victims' families speaking out.
Time heals, but it doesn't let you forget.
Inside their long wait for justice as the White House ramps up its pressure campaign against Cuba. All that, plus worth the wait? An inside look at the remarkable results of the next generation weight loss drug that appears to be even more effective than GLP-1s. And end of an era. Stephen Colbert and The Late Show set to sign off for the final time tonight. David Letterman, the legend who started it all.
The generic dollhouse.
Sharing his thoughts in a Today exclusive.
It kind of makes me sad. I think it's very, very important to the American culture.
Our one-on-one with the king of late night.
Yeah, here we go. See how much fun this is?
Today, Thursday, May 21st, 2026.
From NBC News, this is Today with Savannah Guthrie and Greg Melvin. From Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And a very good morning to you. Welcome to Today. Thank you so much for starting your Thursday with us.
All right, well, coming up in a bit, we're going to take you live to the iconic Ed Sullivan Theater, just a short distance from us here in New York, where Stephen Colbert will tape that final episode of The Late Show, and you've got an exclusive interview with David Letterman, so good timing. And
Dave shared his thoughts about the end of an era. We're going to start, though, with that severe weather overnight. Heavy rain causing flooding across the Northeast. Some spots also seeing hail. The extreme heat from the past few days also coming to an end, though.
It's the first in a series of storms set to hit the region just ahead of the busy Memorial Day weekend. And as you finalize your plans, consider this. Gas prices, a slight increase overnight. The national average is now $4.56 a gallon.
We've got it all covered for you this morning, including Dylan's full holiday weekend forecast. But we're going to start with NBC's Emily Aketa. She has made her way to an always busy spot along the New Jersey Turnpike. Em, good morning.
Hey there, good morning to you. Drivers here looking at $4.60 a gallon to fill up, and the record number of Americans expected to hit the road for this weekend are watching those gas prices closely, up more than 40% from a year ago, according to AAA. And it's not just the pain at the pump that's putting a damper on this holiday weekend. The wet and cold weather is also getting the travel rush off to a bit of a bumpy start. This morning, wild weather wreaking havoc ahead of one of the year's busiest travel weekends. With torrential rain and massive hail pounding the Northeast overnight. Severe flooding ravaging New York City, turning roadways into rivers. This city bus navigating dangerous knee-deep waters.
I've never seen flooding like this, guys.
And pedestrians wading through flooded streets. Thunderstorms also pummeled Georgia, bringing downpours during Atlanta's rush hour, halting traffic on a major highway.
Why would y'all even try it?
even forcing some drivers to swim to safety. The washout on the East Coast coming as many prepare to hit the road ahead of Memorial Day weekend. But those soaring gas prices still a concern, above $4 a gallon now in every state. While at the nation's airports, today is expected to be the busiest travel day, according to the FAA. Those storms already slowing down some passengers, with over 7,000 flight delays yesterday, as airports like Newark International navigate packed schedules.
The tower just called us and said they cannot take any more airplanes. They are in gridlock tonight.
While at nearby LaGuardia Airport in New York,
LaGuardia has a sinkhole on one of their runways.
A sinkhole forcing a runway shutdown.
The entire flight board is red, like canceled, delayed.
Despite a stormy start, many Americans still looking forward to the first holiday weekend of summer.
The weather does not even matter. People are still going to be outside.
And the FAA says today will be the busiest day at airports with more than 54,000 flights scheduled. You can expect a lot of company on the roads as well. Transportation data company INRIX says that the big getaway will begin this afternoon. Today and tomorrow, you're going to see a lot of traffic 3 to 6 p.m. In terms of the return, that will get underway Monday afternoon. So as always, you want to leave early to beat the rush, guys.
All right. Emily Ketta there for us there in Jersey. Em, thank you.
All right, we've got Dylan in for Al this morning. Everything we need to know about the big holiday weekend.
Well, if you live in the eastern half of the country, look away. This is not the forecast you want for Memorial Day weekend. We've got just an active storm track, moisture just being pulled in from the south. We're going to see heavy rain along the Gulf Coast and very unsettled weather back through the Great Lakes, the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys, and extending up into the Northeast. Friday, tomorrow is probably the best day of the weekend. It will just be kind of cloudy in the Northeast, but you go down into the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys, look at all this heavy rain. If you're traveling on the road, 64, 40, we are looking for just really heavy rain. Not a whole lot of severe storms, but still, you get the heavy rain, you get the downpours, and that could lead to flight delays from Nashville over into Atlanta, all along the Gulf Coast in Houston and New Orleans. Then on Saturday, again, the West Coast, enjoy it. Lots of sunshine, temperatures nice and warm, but here's that heavier rain moving into the Northeast. Not just the rain, but gusty winds as well. Colder temperatures only in the 50s across the Northeast. You go into the Southeast, it's warmer, but it's that heavy tropical humid kind of rain. Heavier downpours on Sunday down through Houston into Louisiana. And then on Memorial Day itself, we're still looking for spotty showers across the Northeast and still dealing with that heavy rain all along the Gulf Coast. So it's kind of a washout for half of us.
All right, we'll come back to you in just a bit, Dylan. Thank you. Now to that breaking news overnight. A Detroit-bound flight suddenly diverted to Canada, where a passenger was removed because of Ebola concerns. NBC's Molly Hunter has the details on this breaking news. Molly, what do we know?
Craig, that's right. So what we're learning this morning is that Air France says a Congolese passenger boarded a flight in Paris headed for Detroit in, quote, error. Now, at the request of U.S. authorities, the flight was diverted and landed last night in Montreal. U.S. Customs and Border Control now say the passenger should not have boarded the flight because of restrictions in place limiting travel for foreign travelers who had been in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan in the past 3 weeks. But, Craig, overnight, the Trump administration has revised those restrictions. And in a new memo, the DHS now directs all flights carrying anyone who has recently been in those countries to enter the U.S. at Washington, D.C.'s Dulles Airport. That is the airport, according to this DHS memo, where the U.S. government is focusing public health resources to implement enhanced public health measures. Now, Craig, meanwhile, health officials on the ground in Central Africa are still working very hard to determine exactly how far this strain of Ebola has spread. The current number of suspected cases is at least 600, according to the WHO. Craig?
So, Molly, also, what more do we know about the status of that American doctor who tested positive for the Ebola virus?
Yeah, we're learning more this morning. So according to the CDC, Dr. Peter Stafford is in stable condition. That is good news this morning, still being treated at that specialty hospital in Berlin. And we've also learned overnight that his wife, also a doctor, Rebecca Stafford, and their 4 children arrived by ambulance to the same hospital for observation. Another doctor, Patrick La Rochelle, who was also treating patients in the DRC, Craig, who we mentioned yesterday, has arrived at a facility in Prague overnight. Now, the CDC says at this point right now, no one else is presenting symptoms, but they are being very closely monitored. Craig?
Okay, Molly Hunter for us on that breaking news. Molly, thank you.
Also this morning, President Trump is trying to stem the tide of growing outrage over that nearly $2 billion taxpayer fund that could offer payouts to his allies who accuse the government of mistreatment. NBC's chief Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles joins us with the latest. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, Savannah, good morning. This fund, the result of a settlement between the Department of Justice and President Trump after the president sued the IRS and the Treasury Department over the leak of his tax returns for $10 billion. But legal and political experts are wondering how the fund will dole out payments and if it was necessary to begin with.
President Donald Trump defending a new fund designed to provide payments to Americans who claim to be victims of what he describes as government weaponization.
We're reimbursing those people for their legal fees and for their costs and for anybody involved.
But now lawmakers on both sides of the aisle expressing concerns.
I have almost zero confidence in the DOJ right now. And so let's go back and try and regain some of that confidence before we talk about any money.
He just wants to continue to use the budget of the United States illegally as a political slush fund for his foot soldiers.
It all comes from an agreement between the president and his own administration after Trump's legal team dropped a lawsuit against the IRS over the release of the president's tax returns.
Donald Trump made up a whole bogus lawsuit that he ultimately withdrew.
The president also agreeing to drop other claims against the government in exchange for the new fund, which will provide money to Trump allies who say they were wrongly prosecuted by the Biden or Obama administrations.
It's entirely voluntary if an individual wants to apply.
Those receiving money may include January 6 rioters. Trump and his family will not receive any of the money. But as part of the agreement, the DOJ saying the U.S. cannot pursue any ongoing audits into the finances of the president, his businesses, or family members.
I have never seen anything like this in my decades at the Justice Department.
Rupa Bhattacharya, who led the 9/11 Victims Fund, said the agreement may face challenges.
It is not at all clear to me what the legal authority is for diverting these funds.
Republican Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick sending Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche a letter asking for more information.
I don't support it. I think you can't do that.
But standing in the way of the fund may be a tough ask of rank-and-file Republicans who do not want to cross Donald Trump.
Everybody should support that.
Now, some of those House and Senate members who have asked the DOJ for specifics are promising to stand in the way of the fund without their authorization. There's also a series of lawsuits in the works that will force the court to weigh in on if the fund is legitimate. Savannah?
And Ryan, while I have you, there's another fight on Capitol Hill. This one is over that $1 billion request for taxpayer money for the president's ballroom project. So what is the latest on that?
Yeah, this is a big blow to President Trump's proposal for that White House ballroom. Senate Republicans appear set to drop a White House request for $1 billion in Secret Service funding for the project. Now, it's part of a larger bill, which is still being finalized, but there doesn't appear to be enough votes to pass that particular set of security funds, particularly among moderates. Savannah?
All right, Ryan Nobles, thank you very much.
And there's new reaction this morning to the historic U.S. indictment of Raul Castro, the 94-year-old former Cuban president and brother of Fidel Castro. The Justice Department charging him in connection with the 1996 killing of 4 members of a Miami-based exile group when Cuba's military shot down their civilian planes. NBC's Jesse Kirsch joins us now from Miami with more on this. Jesse, good morning.
Hey, Craig, good morning. This was a moment filled with symbolism. Raul Castro charged with murder on Cuban Independence Day. The announcement made inside a Miami building that served as a Cuban Ellis Island for so many asylum seekers. And with victims' family members in the room, as the acting attorney general announced the charges, he received a standing ovation.
This morning, former Cuban President Raul Castro is wanted for murder.
We expect that he will show up here by his own will or by another way.
Fidel Castro's younger brother indicted by an American grand jury for conspiracy to kill U.S. nationals, destroying American civilian aircraft, and premeditated murder.
The United States and President Trump does not and will not forget its citizens.
In February 1996, Cuban fighter jets shot down 2 small planes that were part of the Cuban-American exile group Brothers to the Rescue. 3 Americans and 1 U.S. permanent resident were killed. Cuba says the planes violated its airspace. The U.S. government says they were unarmed humanitarians flying over international waters. Miriam de la Pena's 24-year-old son, Mario, was one of the Americans shot down.
It is important to indict and to pursue justice for those that have been abused.
While many in Miami celebrated the news, it's not clear if justice will ever actually be served. Raul Castro is 94 years old and still a force in Cuba's communist regime. The indictment also comes after American forces captured Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro in January. And for months, the White House has been ramping up pressure on Cuba's regime, too.
If people look at this and say this is at least partially just a pretext to push for regime change in Cuba, what would you say?
I don't care what people look at and think.
President Trump downplaying concerns.
There won't be escalation.
On social media, Cuba's current president saying this indictment is political, meant to justify American military action in the region. President Miguel Diaz-Canel calling this, quote, a ridiculous attempt to diminish Raul Castro's stature as a hero. Craig.
All right, Jesse Kirschforth there in Miami. Jesse, thank you.
All right, news covered. Let's go to the NBA and the Western Conference Finals. We'll talk about who won the game in just a second. But first, we have to look at the highlight that everybody's going to be talking about at work this morning. Let's roll it.
He's got more attention. Oh, my goodness! Stephon Castle! Welcome to this earth.
How about that? Yeah, you got to do the replay in slow-mo. That was pretty. Stephon Castle with what might be the dunk of the year. But it was Oklahoma City that had the last laugh. The Thunder pulled away midway through the fourth quarter and never looked back. Went on to win it 122-113. So this series all tied up at one game apiece. And, of course, game two of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Knicks and the Cavs is tonight.
And the Knicks have that momentum after that comeback in game one.
Big time.
So MSG should be rocking tonight. Dylan is back with the rest of that forecast.
Good morning again, guys. Before we get to the holiday weekend, we do have a little round of severe weather in the forecast for the Eastern Rockies through the day today. Heavy rain, though, already falling across Oklahoma down into Texas. That will be where we could see some isolated severe storms, too, and then it starts to get unsettled a little farther northeast you go, up through West Virginia, into Virginia, and then much cooler by about 20 degrees, 20 to almost 30 degrees cooler in the northeast than it was yesterday. That's a look at the weather across the country. We'll get to your local forecast in the next 30 seconds.
I know I was not your first choice, but he had a scheduling conflict. He is currently running the Catholic Church. He did send a nice note. You held out for the Pope, and you got a Today Show host. That means instead of receiving a blessing in Latin from the man who leads 1 billion faithful Catholics, you're going to get some life advice from a guy your parents watch for 11 minutes some mornings while getting dressed and waiting for Al Roker to tell them whether it's going to rain. I apologize in advance.
No way, no apologies. That speech was amazing. Your commencement address in front of Villanova. And by the way, you did bring some Latin. Didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
3 words.
Yeah, come
Just
on.
3 words.
I mean, more than I know. So
Thank
you did a great job. That was really great.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you. It was fun. Let me tell you, I apologize for the weather out there, too. It was so hot.
Oh.
And those graduates and their parents and their grandparents.
we worried for you because you think it's hot when it's 70 degrees in here. And it was like almost 100 degrees out there.
It was. The cap and the gown did not help either, but I thoroughly enjoyed my time there at Villanova, and congrats to all the new graduates.
Oh, you made us proud.
Congrats. Speaking of those new graduates, they're not the only ones preparing for a brand new chapter. That's because tonight marks the end of an era in late night when Stephen Colbert signs off and The Late Show comes to a close after more than 30 years on the air.
NBC's entertainment correspondent Chloe Melas joins us now from that iconic Ed Sullivan Theater, not too far from where we sit. Chloe, good morning.
Hey guys, that's right. I'm just a few blocks away from you guys, and there's only one more episode to go of The Late Show. Can you believe it? And in just a couple hours, that Late Show is going to start taping right here at the Ed Sullivan Theater behind me. And this farewell tour, it has been full of big moments, even bigger laughs as these lights get ready to dim.
After tonight, we have only one more show left, and it is our... Oh, but let's have fun now, shall we?
Tonight, Stephen Colbert will take his final bow before the curtain drops for good on The Late Show. Overnight, Bruce Springsteen performing. And a who's who of guests turning the tables for a special Colbert questionnaire.
Apples or oranges?
Well, you can't put peanut butter on an orange.
The latest A-listers filling out an all-star lineup to say goodbye. From former Daily Show pal Jon Stewart.
Stephen, get ready for the ride of your life.
To David Byrne. Fellow late-night host.
Is there anything that we have not touched on before we move on to this? I'm curious.
The outrage that your show is being thrown off the air?
Yeah.
And a former president.
A lot of people tell me I should run for president.
Oh, well, you certainly have the look.
Thank you very much.
You have the hair.
While also taking a moment to honor his team.
This staff is so brilliant.
It's the end of an era. The show debuting in 1993 with David Letterman.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the show.
The trailblazing format creating countless water cooler moments in a pre-viral video world. Last week, Letterman joined Colbert to mark the end of the show.
This is my desk chair.
All right, well, say goodbye, my friend.
Colbert's take has been different, filled with more politically charged humor.
Everybody I talk to is talking about what Donald Trump doesn't want to talk about.
So last summer, when CBS announced the end of The Late Show, questions swirled if it had anything to do with the show's critical eye towards President Trump. At the time, CBS called it purely a financial decision. But fans rallying around the beloved host after the news, with hype building ahead of tonight's final farewell, as Stephen Colbert prepares to sign off from an institution that's transformed the late-night landscape.
So as for tonight's show, it is being kept completely under wraps. We don't even know who the guests are going to be, but here's what we do know. We know that the finale is going to be extended, so it's probably going to be more than its typical hour time slot. We also know that the taping is taking place more than an hour earlier at the theater behind me. And I just want to point out that Stephen Colbert has said that his white whale guest, you guys, is Pope Leo. You never know. You really never know. Guys.
Well, he wasn't at Villanova, so maybe
That's right.
his schedule's open.
Oh, wow.
That would be quite the get.
That would be a get.
It would be.
Thank you,
Stephen's
Chloe.
a devout Catholic. Could
He is,
be.
yeah.
And Jimmy on NBC and ABC are not doing live shows tonight, I think.
Yeah,
So
out of sort of reverence to encourage their audiences to watch the final show as well.
By the way, David Letterman, the legend who created The Late Show, Dave's going to share his thoughts about the end of the era during our exclusive conversation. We're going to hear from him in just a bit right here on Today.
All right. Also ahead, a powerful show of support for Vanessa Trump, the president's former daughter-in-law, who's revealed her battle with breast cancer, what she's saying about her treatment and the road ahead.
But first, we're going to take a closer look at the promising next-generation weight loss drugs that's delivering eye-opening results. We'll be right back with everything you need to know.
We are back, 7:39 now, this morning on In Depth Today, the next generation of weight loss drugs.
Yeah, millions of Americans now, nearly 20% have tried a GLP-1, and now a promising new option is on the horizon that could be more powerful than Ozempic.
NBC News medical contributor Dr. Natalie Azar is here with all the details. Dr. Azar, good morning. I mean, these are really eye-popping results from the study of this new medicine.
Yes, so this medicine is called retatrutide. It will be, when and if approved, will be the third weight loss drug from Eli Lilly. This is what people are calling a triple G, meaning that it's mimicking not one, not two, but three different hormones that are responsible for hunger regulation and fat burning and calorie burning and all of this stuff. So in this trial, participants who took the medication for 80 weeks lost, on average, about 70 pounds, which was 28% of their body weight. And get a look at this number. 65% of people who took the maximum dose achieved a BMI of under 30, which puts them out of the obese range, and it improved cardiac risk factors. We're talking about things like your non-HDL cholesterol, your waist circumference, your blood pressure, all of those cardiometabolic parameters improved on this medication.
How does it compare to what's already on the market?
Right. So the other drugs that you can technically compare to would be Zepbound and Wegovy, which are also approved for weight loss. These are not head-to-head comparisons, but you can just take a look at the numbers. With retatrutide, as I said, up to 28% of your body weight. With Zepbound, Zepbound about 21%, Wegovy about 15%. So in this case, it does seem like more is actually better. It does translate into more weight loss, the more, hormones you're targeting.
So they went from like a double G to a triple G.
Yes.
So what's not to say that the quadruple G is coming out? Like, when does this sort of end?
So, I think that's a really important question. And you have to say, like, why do we still need more medications like this? How much weight do we really need to lose? In a subset of patients who were on this medication who had a BMI of 35, that's severe obesity. They lost up to about 30% of their body weight, which basically starts to approximate what we see in bariatric surgery. That's really important. The other thing to note is that about 10% of people don't respond to GLPs, the ones that are currently on the market. So there will be a market for, maybe people start to plateau or people just aren't responding. So again, will there be a fourth G? I don't know. This last one is called glucagon, it is pretty effective. Yeah.
Yeah. So how long, this is just a study. So what's the process now for approval and when people might be able to get it?
So this was the end stage. So the phase 3 of this trial, I think they will definitely go for FDA approval this year. I am pretty sure it's going to get approved. Ticket price, of course, we don't know. I think it's definitely going to be compatible with other, drugs and competitive with what is on the market currently.
Same side effects as the other ones that are already on the market?
Same side effects as the other one, mostly GI, yes.
I'm just impressed that you can pronounce these names.
The
triple G on the street.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I'm
just call it,
Okay, say what? All right, Dr. Izar, thank
Thanks,
you.
Doc. Appreciate it. Sure, we'll see you soon with another report on that.
Quadruple G, you called
quadruple G.
Let's get another check of the weather. Dylan in for Al this morning. Good morning.
Good morning again, guys. You step outside, you'll notice the temperature drop out there for sure. We're dropping temperatures by about 30 degrees in the Northeast. It's only 65 for our high today in New York, 66 in Boston, 66 in D.C., which is about 11 degrees below average. Raleigh, though, still in the lower 90s, still feeling that humidity. You go out into Minneapolis and into Chicago, temperatures in the mid-60s. Pierce, South Dakota, about 59 degrees. So temperatures certainly below average. They'll modify a bit as we go through the weekend. Chicago gets up to the 80s by the time we get into Monday. Cleveland gets back into the upper 70s. Again, kind of unsettled, though. We are going to see a lot of rain, even though we're looking for a high of about 75 on Memorial Day in New York. It comes with some clouds, some peaks of sunshine, a chance of showers really at any moment. And in Washington, D.C., same thing. We'll get into the upper 70s, but it's not going to be like a crystal clear sunny day. Today, though, we do have some of that heavier rain in the forecast for the southern plains. Down along the Gulf Coast, flooding is a possibility with those heavier downpours. And then this stretches up into Virginia and West Virginia, too, where we could see some pockets of heavier rain. That's a look at the weather across the country. Now here's a peek out your window. And that's your latest forecast.
All right, a little PSS.
Yeah, just getting the final touches on it now, guys. You ready?
Yeah,
hot off the press. Here we go. We're headed to a chaotic kitchen in Chicago for this one.
You left the pre-order option open.
Okay, no. Sorry.
Yes.
What's that mean?
That means we have 78 slices of chocolate cake, 99 French fries, 54 chickens, 38 salads, and 255 beef sandwiches due up in 8 minutes. So yes, on the
Well, the headline there says it all. That fictional restaurant in the TV show The Bear is so well known for their Italian beef sandwich that it is becoming the official state sandwich. Sandwich, important distinction before deep dish pizza fans go crazy. Chicago native and series cast member, that's Corey Hendricks there on the right. He lobbied for the cause. He actually joined the State General Assembly for the proclamation. The sandwich's origin, by the way, does go back to Chicago's working class Italian immigrant communities and have seen a massive resurgence, as you can imagine, thanks to that Emmy-winning series, The Bear.
Have you ever had one?
Yeah, I've had an Italian beef sandwich. Not that one, though, no.
Okay.
I think we had someone come and make him on the
Portillo's.
show.
I feel like we did. We did.
We should do that again.
Agreed.
Sounds delicious.
Agreed.
Today.
Congratulations, Illinois. Congratulations. Almost boost time because I spied your beach.
Hi, guys. Get ready to relive those wonderfully frightening feelings of heading off to college for the very first time right after this.
Oh, Jenna, you got a lot on your boost plate today, don't you?
I have a big boost plate for y'all. Do y'all remember that feeling of going off to college for the very first time? Maybe you were a little scared of all the unknowns to come. Well, sometimes kids have the best advice. First graders at Porter-Gaud School in South Carolina offering their guidance to all those future college freshmen.
You should bring equipment like pencils, pens, erasers, and notebooks. If you're lonely, you should go up to somebody and say, Do you want to be my friend and then hang out with them? Do not be loud at night because there's someone in the dormitory with you. You should bring a picture of your dog if you have one. So, you should bring maybe, some fancy outfits in case there's a party. Don't forget to keep your room clean. Call your teacher professor. Be respectful, be nice, and make sure to do your homework.
Oh, don't we
I
love
love
those
that.
kids
In
Porter
case there's a
now.
party, should a party?
Yeah, exactly.
Should you find one of those at college?
Exactly.
She's my person. I love her.
How cute are all those kids down in God's country?
Yes, and our apologies
No.
to Charleston, South Carolina, and all of those folks who are attached to Porter Gaud.
I said Porter Gaud. What do you want from me?
What, is that wrong? Or?
No, Porter Gaud was right.
Porter Gaud. It's not that?
Are they
It's
making
a
fun of
great
her accent?
school.
No, I would never
So lost.
make fun
I
of
know.
Gina
Sounds
Bush's
perfectly normal to
accent.
me.
Thank you.
All right, guys, let's keep it moving. Get ready to shake and bake all over again. Coming up on Pop Start, we're going to tell you about the plans to have Ricky Bobby and those Talladega Nights racing back into theaters. We'll have that and a whole full fun list of more Pop Start items for you. But first, we check your local news.
Never change. It's 8 o'clock on today. Coming up on the move, severe storms across the Northeast. Ahead of one of the year's busiest travel weekends. Everything you need to know just ahead. Then, speaking out, President Trump's former daughter-in-law, Vanessa, revealing she has breast cancer. The latest on her diagnosis and treatment plan. Then, driving force.
Come on! That's why we paid the money to get in here.
Our exclusive interview with David Letterman on his love for racing, a cause close to his heart, and what he has to say about the end of The Late Show.
Without that, I think we're losing a valuable perspective. I think it's very, very important to the American culture.
A conversation you do not want to miss just ahead. All that plus a new doc on a rock icon.
He's one of those people you can describe by simply saying his name, Greg Allman.
Harry Styles keeps the disco going. And another lap for Talladega Nights.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know, don't talk about that.
Today, Thursday, May 21st, 2026.
We're celebrating our 50th anniversary.
After today's show, from Tennessee, just graduated from Collinwood High School. Visiting from Chicago, Columbus, Ohio,
Bon Air, Georgia.
Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Portsmouth, Virginia.
I believe the truth for me, I feel it in our energy.
From Cambridge, Ohio.
It's Kathy's 70th birthday.
Good morning to our grandkids.
Love you, Michael and Winnie.
Celebrating Dad's retirement.
From Tampa, South Carolina.
Cindy Lotar, hey,
Hi, Aunt Mary.
Welcome back. Welcome back to today. So appreciate you starting your Thursday morning off with us. So appreciate all those folks who came cap and gown there. Got some graduates out there, got some birthdays, got some anniversaries. We will get outside and celebrate with them in just a bit.
Oh, we thought we'd put those coats away for the season, but no, it's going to be a little chilly for our Plaza crowd and the weekend. We'll have more on that a bit. Coming up tomorrow on Today, we are going to celebrate reopening day for an iconic landmark in the nation's capital, the Smithsonian Castle. It's been closed for upgrades since 2023, and now it's going to start welcoming back visitors in the summer for in honor of America's 250th birthday. So we're going to give you a sneak peek, a special tour.
All right, a little preview tomorrow. Right now, though, let's get to your news at 8. This morning, traffic is picking up on the roads and in the skies for the big Memorial Day getaway and the kickoff to summer vacation season as well. And surprisingly, perhaps, it could be a record breaker despite higher gas and airline ticket prices. NBC's Tom Costello is at Chicago O'Hare International this morning. Tom, good morning.
Hey, Craig, you may not see me after this live shot. We're on the jet bridge, and this plane right here is about to take off to Jamaica. It's going to be great. Listen, we are still watching trouble airports from yesterday. This morning, JFK, Newark, LaGuardia, our trouble spots. We had 1,100 flight cancellations from all airlines yesterday. But this is the kickoff to the big summer getaway. American is expecting a record 75 million passengers between Memorial Day and Labor Day, and it all starts now. Among the worst places for a sinkhole on this kickoff to Memorial Day,
422 is closed for a sinkhole over there. It's like Route 80.
New York LaGuardia Runway 4 closed for repairs as the TSA expects to screen some 18.3 million passengers and crew members between today and next Wednesday.
When the people get on the plane, they're on the plane. They want to make sure that their baggage is on the plane.
At Chicago O'Hare, American's John Contreras is one of 65 assigned baggage runners every shift, using a computer program to expedite bags from tail to tail or tail to terminal. With 8 runways, Chicago O'Hare now has the most takeoffs and landings of any airport in the world, with a flight coming or going every 37 seconds. American expects to fly 40,000 flights this extended weekend worldwide, moving 500,000 bags a day. It's on-time bag delivery up 18% with those dedicated bag runners.
I got it scanned all 35 bags before I leave for all the connecting flights.
It matters to Isabella Idris connecting to New Orleans.
My favorite hairdryer, my Dyson hairdryer, is in it, and it's very expensive.
Like most airlines, American is forecasting record-breaking passenger levels this summer, despite inflation and higher fuel prices sending airfares higher.
This is the period that their families want to get together for vacations, small trips, whatever. Still strong demand to go internationally.
Regardless of the price?
Regardless of the price. But a lot of people, you have bought tickets because they already planned what they were going to do this summer and they bought the tickets earlier.
Hopper.com reports domestic airfares are averaging $441 round trip, up 53% from a year ago. While on the roads, regular unleaded averaging $456 nationally, up from $317 last year. For airlines, afternoon and evening thunderstorms can throw the best travel plans into disarray.
We notify the customer ahead of time when it's a known weather event, and so they have an opportunity. We can reroute them.
Yeah, and as you know, weather was a big problem yesterday. Here's the tip for the summer, traveling with the kids. Book the earliest morning flight you can, because look at this plane, right? It's been sitting all night. It's ready to go this morning. It's not getting caught up in delays and cancellations, and that is always the best suggestion as you travel through the summer. Guys, back to you.
Enjoy your trip to Jamaica, Tom Costello. Thank you.
All right. Well, in New Mexico, 3 people are dead, and more than a dozen first responders had to be hospitalized after they were exposed to an unknown substance inside a home. This happened about an hour south of Albuquerque. Nearly 24 emergency personnel were called to the scene of a suspected drug overdose. They found 4 unresponsive people inside. And then shortly after that, the workers began experiencing symptoms, including nausea and dizziness. They were taken to the hospital. They're being quarantined and monitored.
President Trump's former daughter-in-law revealing a life-changing health diagnosis yesterday. Vanessa Trump announcing she has been diagnosed with breast cancer. The former model was married to Donald Trump Jr. for 12 years before their split back in 2018. NBC senior Washington correspondent Hallie Jackson is in Washington with more on this. Hallie, good morning.
Hey, Craig, good morning to you. And this morning, we are seeing an outpouring of support for Vanessa Trump, who's revealing she had a procedure this week after that diagnosis and says she is staying hopeful and focused. This morning, the former daughter-in-law of President Trump announcing she has recently been diagnosed with breast cancer. Vanessa Trump, the ex-wife of Donald Trump Jr., sharing she's staying focused and hopeful in an emotional post on Wednesday, writing, "While this isn't the news anyone expects, I'm working closely with my medical team on a treatment plan." The 48-year-old also revealing she underwent a procedure earlier this week, thanking her doctors in the post. The former model was married to Donald Trump Jr. for more than a decade. At his side from campaign rallies.
And this is Vanessa. Vanessa's Don's wife.
To both presidential inaugurations. The two, who share 5 children, divorced in 2018. Vanessa Trump making headlines again last year when she and Tiger Woods began dating, the golf legend, confirming the relationship on Instagram, writing, "Love is in the air and life is better with you by my side." President Trump even sharing his blessing at the time.
Let them both be happy. They're both great.
Vanessa Trump's public appearances often come at golf tournaments with her 19-year-old daughter, Kai, both seen at the PGA Cadillac Championship in Florida earlier this month. She remains close with the Trump family, saying she's surrounded by love and support following the diagnosis. Kai, who recently posted on Mother's Day, "I'm so thankful and lucky to have you in my life. We are also lucky to have you," reacting to the news, calling her the strongest person I know. Ivanka Trump also extending her support, writing, "Praying for your continued strength and a swift recovery." And Vanessa Trump is thanking those around her for their kindness and support. As for her ex-husband, Donald Trump Jr. is reportedly getting remarried this weekend in the Bahamas. He's been engaged to Bettina Anderson since December. Craig?
Hallie Jackson for us there in Washington. Hallie, thank you.
To the NFL now, and a major career update from one of the league's biggest stars. Aaron Rodgers says this upcoming season will be his last. The 42-year-old quarterback saying yesterday, quote, "This is it." The future Hall of Famer signed a one-year deal this week to play another season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That'll be his 22nd year in the NFL. And, of course, he played most of his career with the Green Bay Packers, won a Super Bowl, was named MVP 4 times, which is why we confidently say future Hall of Famer.
Hey, Aaron, you believe him this time?
Oh, yeah.
We've been here before, you know.
Oh, I know, I know. No,
So
I believe him.
we'll
I
see.
mean, do you? Is a more important question.
I don't know.
Since you know what you're talking about.
I'm a little skeptical. Carson Daly, you believe him?
I believe him. Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Did you get the A-Rod thing? Savannah looked a little puzzled
I know,
there.
I love A-Rod.
Alex Rodriguez,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, I thought
anyway,
it was
guys.
Well, we're back 8:13. Craig's exclusive interview with late night legend David Letterman.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. He invited Craig to the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway to talk about a cause that's very close to his heart.
Yeah, that's right, guys. The Speedway, it's a special place to David Letterman. While we were there, we talked about a campaign that he has joined, urging race fans to get screened to avoid heart valve failure. And we also talked about tonight's end of the Late Show franchise. And, of course, if it's Dave, we shared more than a few laughs. David Letterman helped reinvent late-night television. Across 2 networks and 3 decades, he made millions of Americans laugh with his top 10 lists, stupid pet tricks, and so much more.
The network has sent over one last thing
for
both of us to enjoy.
Very thoughtful of them.
He visited current host Stephen Colbert before the Late Show franchise Letterman founded goes off the air.
Whoa, what a day for a walk.
Not far from the finish line of the Indy 500, we talked about the end of an era. What does the end of that show say about comedy in America?
It kind of makes me sad. We always relied on it. You would read the newspaper in the morning, and at night you would see Johnny Carson. And Johnny would give you a perspective, whether you agreed with it or not, but it was always funny. And without that, I think we're losing a valuable perspective. I think it's very, very important to the American culture. I think it's too bad that Stephen is gone. I think it's a huge mistake.
Letterman talked to us along with the co-owners of his Indy racing team, businessman Mike Lanigan and Indy 500 champ Bobby Rahal. Letterman started loving racing and the Speedway at an early age.
It's otherworldly, for God's sakes. And then you put 33 men and women driving at over 200 miles an hour. Well, none of this should be legal. Am I right? Let's close it down.
So when you come out on race day,
it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Dave and his team gave me a tour of their garage.
Look at that.
That's a beautiful machine.
Think about putting a person in there.
Wow.
There's not much room to go to work, is there?
Then we headed to pit row.
Come on! That's why we paid the money to get in here. Growing up, Dave, was your family into... No, it was me, my uncle and me. My uncle was the man who brought me the first time to the track when I was just a kid. It's just the perfect thing for a kid, you know? What's not to love about fast cars and being outside, right? That's right, yep.
We watched Bobby's son, Graham Rahal, compete to qualify for the race later that day.
What are they doing now? That's his engineers and everything. Got it. Oh, this is cool. Bobby, the red tires are going to be quicker here? Yeah.
In the end, Graham Rahal qualifies.
All right. Yeah, here we go. See how much fun this is? Man!
Letterman, Lanigan, and Rahal share a love of racing and a history of serious heart issues. That's why they joined a campaign to raise awareness about the dangers of heart valve failure.
Heart valve failure is nothing to play around with.
They're featured in a short documentary called Stay in the Race.
200 laps on a 2.5-mile track. And when it works, it's like you're watching choreographed ballet.
We talk about teams and IndyCar racing, and for us personally, your doctors are your team, and staying ahead of issues that are heart-related because in many cases, if it's ignored, it has fatal consequences.
And it could be a silent killer. And if you go out, get your heart valves checked, you find out you have an issue, they can fix it.
Letterman had quintuple bypass surgery in 2000, missing 5 weeks of The Late Show. On his first show back, he had the doctors and nurses who treated him on the show to thank them. Dave, you look good. How do you feel?
I feel great. I love the topic of this, and I love heart maintenance in particular. I had, and again, I'm ahead of these guys. Bobby was 3, you were 4?
I was 4.
Yeah, 5. Quintuple bypass surgery. Thank you.
You won.
Thank you very much.
They've also partnered up with Edwards Life Sciences to set up heart valve screening booths at races around the country. Letterman is serious about racing, too. Well, as serious as Dave gets. What would you say that David Letterman adds to the team?
David brings the laughter. David brings the expertise.
What Mike is trying desperately not to say is eye candy.
Eye candy. By the way, Graham took 3rd later that day in the documentary Stay in the Race. It premieres tomorrow. We're going to put a link on our website to that. And guys, Dave's been busy with a lot of other projects as well, including a new season of his hit Netflix show, My Next Guest. Needs no introduction, that Emmy-winning show. After our conversation, he was going over to watch Indiana Fever play, Caitlin Clark. He's a huge Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever fan.
It's so fun. It's like his stomping grounds. He grew up in Indy.
Oh,
yeah.
the son of Indiana.
Forever.
He has.
They love him, and Dave loves Indiana back.
That's cool.
He's, by the way, like hilarious in real life. I'd never spent any time with David Letterman, but just like this.
How was it at the raceway when you were sitting up there next to him when the cars are going by?
And he made a good point earlier on. He's like, this is not going to be the greatest seat in the house because you're not going to be able to see a whole lot. When you go up from that vantage point, you can actually
around. Yeah.
Yes, you get the perspective. But no, he's really into it too.
It's fun.
Nice chat.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
And don't forget, you can catch us on the radio as well, Sirius XM channel 108.
Oh, gang's all here. We've got the core.
Hi, Miss Jones.
Yeah, hi.
Hello, Miss
I didn't get the spring fling memo.
I know. Look at these two. Look like they're going to prom.
Going to prom.
We're matchy-matchy.
You need a
We're going to go to the prom after this.
Yes.
All right, guys, we got to get to Pop Star because our last item may be our best item. So let's start it here with some music. And Greg Allman, the rock and roll legend there, leader, of course, the Allman Brothers Band, is the subject of a new documentary. The project features interviews with the late Grammy winner as he opens up about his life on stage and off. It also showcases archival concert footage from throughout his entire career. And here's a peek at the trailer.
All of us musicians, we'd never heard anything like that before. He's one of those people you can describe by simply saying his name, Greg Allman.
All of a sudden, I couldn't make a move.
He did love sex, drugs, rock and roll, but it was a piece of a much bigger puzzle.
Couldn't live with each other, and they couldn't live without each other either.
Willie said, "You all right?" I said, "Willie, I'm not all right." Never told her this story. I might as well.
No.
Rad.
Midnight Rider.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rambling Man, Whipping Post.
Rambling Man.
Sweet Melissa.
Yeah, that's a great song, too. Greg Allman, The Music of My Soul, releases June 17th in theaters. All right, next up, Harry Styles, the rock superstar, kicked off his world tour over in Amsterdam over the weekend. And while the stadium was packed with fans, some not so happy about their experience, complaining on social media about not being able to see Harry during his performance, showing that the stage was just a little too high and obscured the view of fans on the floor. Well, yesterday, Harry's HQ responded to the feedback, writing, "We want every person in the room to have the best possible experience, and we're actively working on making adjustments to improve visibility." So it's nice to write something like
He heard.
it got back to him. He cares.
Useful feedback.
Yeah, it is.
Great.
Next up is Quinta Brunson, the Abbott Elementary creator, working on her next project, bringing this iconic cartoon to life.
Oh, tell me, baby, or ain't you? Boop, boop, be-doo. And don't
That is Betty Boop coming to the big screen. It was announced yesterday, the character getting a featured film adaptation tracing her origin and evolution. The story is going to be told through the perspective of Betty's creator, Max Fleischer. Quinta is going to develop the project and star as Betty Boop.
Wow. Cute.
That's cute, right? You can see that.
Yeah.
Next up, speaking of films, Talladega Nights, start your engines. Racing's favorite duo heading back to theaters. Thank you, Bobby.
I got a message for all of them, right? Shake and bake.
What does that do? Did that blow your mind? That just happened.
Well, in celebration of the 20th anniversary of the classic comedy, you can catch it in movie theaters this summer. It's going to return nationwide for just 3 dates. June 28th, 30th, and July 1st. So you might want to scoop up those tickets very quickly, because if Ricky Bobby has taught us anything, it's if you're not first,
you're last.
You're last.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Next up, The Pit. Next up, we've got third season of the Emmy-winning HBO series is about to drop. We've got an important pop star exclusive to get to, and that's that Dr. Robbie's now officially a bobblehead. Oh. We've got some. Bring him on in, Mike. The exclusive figurine, part of the 5th annual Yinzerpalooza celebration at PNC Park. It marks the Pittsburgh Pirates' yearly tribute, celebrating everything special about the Steel City. We've got 2 of them right here. Craig's got one. If you want your own, they're going to be given out to the first 20,000 fans when the Pirates play the Cubs on July 20th.
That's cute.
I mean, his motorcycle,
right?
too.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I expected to bobble more.
Or he could be holding the baby.
Yeah, okay.
It could be like rocking the baby.
You gotta keep
Gonna be okay.
We'll just give it a real shot.
Finally, yeah, this is the big one here,
Okay,
guys.
guys,
We have another pop star exclusive.
Oh, no, this is big.
Our most important item today, guys, we've added a new member of the Pop Star team. That's because our longtime producer, Emily, who works tirelessly on this segment, there's Emily, had her first baby.
Oh.
That's
Adelina.
Adelina. Wow, the phoneticism's harder than the real word.
Adelina.
Josephine,
You know, I like
born 10/47 Tuesday night, 8 pounds, 15 ounces.
Wow.
Mom and baby girl are happy and healthy. Congrats to Em and, of course, her husband, Dave. And Adelina.
Oh, yeah.
Look at
They call her Ada.
Oh, Ada.
Adelina or Adelina? I bet you
They're calling her Ada.
They're calling
You
her
know,
Ada.
Emily is such a doll, and she used to babysit my kids when they were really little, like 10 years ago. Yeah, she's going to be a great mommy.
Are you gonna offer to babysit?
I would love it. You know I'd love to hold a baby. Yeah, or my daughter can.
Full circle. I love
Welcome to the party, Ada. Straight ahead.
Guys.
A new shop today, hot list full of some Memorial Day must-haves that you will be enjoying all summer long. But first, your local news, weather, these messages.
I have literally communicated with my daughter in particular more via Snapchat than I have in real life.
And is it work?
I can say, like, are you okay?
Yeah.
And then I'll put like some stupid emoji, and she'll write back like LOL, and all these little things are flying all over the screen. But as silly as it is, like I am connected a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, a little parenting
right
talk
here.
from
I mean,
Carson.
Talk about me like
No, but you were like, your whole theory is like meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
because the devices and the apps have taken over.
Yes, they have. Sure have this morning. There's a new screen time warning coming from the Surgeon General's office, and NBC's Kate Snow is here with the details. Also, some advice for parents.
Yeah.
Good to see.
Good morning.
What are the top lines from that report?
So there's a lot in here. It's like 30-some pages long. Basically, they look at all the available evidence right now, all the research that's been done, and they make the point. They say the research has gaps. It's mixed. It's not clear that, screens cause total harm. But then they point to a lot of harms that there is evidence for, and they say they have to do this now. We have to have this report now because there's no time to waste. And here's some of what they found. They found young kids, developmental, cognitive delays, risks, poorer language outcomes as well. For school-age kids, they're pointing to poorer educational outcomes. That means bad grades, sleep problems, poor eating habits because they're on screens so much. For teenagers, we know this, mental health, behavioral concerns, a real tie to social media. They also talk about problematic content that they're looking at, right? So it's not just the time on screens, it's what you're seeing. You're seeing risky behavior. You might be bullied online. You might be exploited at worst, right? So it's a lot in here.
I mean, this is like the battle of the ages for parents and kids, like trying to protect their kids online. It's really hard.
Yes.
So does it make any recommendations?
Yeah, they do, actually. They have quite a few, but I'll give you some of the top lines. So for families and kids, their big tip is to sit down, and this is obvious, but make a real plan around screen use. So they're talking about creating, who's using what screen, where, when, which content, right, and how long. And then these are guidelines that they point to that they suggest could be for your family, 18 months old and under, no screens at all. And then they're talking about 6 years and under, less than an hour a day. And then 6 to 18, this seems hard as a parent, 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
Where right now, like some teenagers are on,
Well, also now the schools, a lot of schools have the laptop there on the screen all day.
And then the schools, they have advice for schools, which is around, what has been happening anyway, which is taking the phones, the devices out of school, bell-to-bell bans, they call them. They think that's a good idea. They think limiting device use during school hours. Prioritizing, I know, Savannah, you've talked about this, pen and paper.
It works.
Right?
Yes,
like
there's
not always
something
being
about-
on a laptop
Yeah.
and including more activities that get kids,
It really helps
moving
when school
outside.
jumps in there. They have our kids for 8 hours of the day. They set the standard. I love the new ban that they've done recently because my kid comes home now and doesn't have the phone in his hand. They're a little more apt to not be on it.
By the way, they call out the tech companies too. They are in the report saying in this warning, they are saying you got to prioritize the health of our kids over engaging, keeping kids on the platform.
You think it's okay to check what your teen's watching?
Do I think it's okay?
Yeah, do they recommend
definitely.
diving into searching history, things like that?
They didn't get into that level of detail, but they're definitely saying you've got to sit with your kids and understand what they're looking at for sure. And they raise a lot of very specific alarms in here about like content.
And other tips for parents are in the report as well?
Yeah, there's actually this thing that they call the 5 Ds. I can run you through that real quick. It's pretty obvious, but it's a good little acronym. So discuss what your kids are viewing, right? To your point, Carson, what they're interacting with, how it makes them feel. Do means model healthy screen use ourselves, which is hard. Delay from the earliest age you can for as long as you can. Divert kids to alternative activities, like give them something else to do. And then disconnect with scheduled screen-free time. Like really say at bedtime or at mealtime, we're not going to have screens.
Yeah.
We're going to put that report on the website so folks can take a look at it. Sounds like there's some great nuggets in there, Kate. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Just ahead, Chassis Post is going to get us summer ready as we head into Memorial Day weekend, whether or not the weather's going to cooperate. And new Shop Today hot list filled with discounts on everything you need for fun in the sun whenever it decides to show up. But first, this is today on NBC. That's a hair thing. Well, because of frizzy hair.
Okay.
Sun,
it was
get it?
flat.
We are back turning up the heat with the new Shop Today hot list to kick off the holiday weekend, from fashion staples to beauty launches. Chassis Post is our Shop Today fashion and lifestyle contributor. She's got a few discounts, too good to pass up, so get out the phones. You're going to scan the QR code, start shopping. Chassis, good morning.
Good morning.
Did you say discount?
I sure did. This is such a great hot list. Okay, we're going to start big with Old Navy. Huge deals.
Okay.
Starting at up to 40% off women's lounge pants, up to 74% off joggers for men. And Savannah, this is the Power Chill fold over pant. And I got to tell you, I'd be chilling 24/7 in these. And what I love about them is they're so stretchy and comfy, but this waistband here.
You're very flattering.
Yeah, but you can wear it 3 ways. You can wear it high-waisted, you can turn it down, go mid-waist. Or you can even go low-waist.
Look at her.
And so flattering. Look.
I meant the mannequins. They look great.
Great, even for, a new expecting mama.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you can, they really are flattering. And what I love about them is they're just, $23.
And a lot of different colors?
A lot of different colors. Also, check this out. I mean, this waffle weave.
This for the guys.
Joggers for men, starting at just $12. And these are super duper soft as well.
Okay, and multiple colors there.
Multiple colors.
This is a cute little lounge dress.
So cute. So we're getting 55% off your new go-to dress from Land's End. And what I love about it is this great little polo style. It's like an elongated polo shirt. And I mean, I love this little nautical stripe one. You can see in a picture. I tried this one on, and I love it because it's like an extended shirt
look how
polo.
Cute you are.
Right? And it's not too short.
I like
it goes
your
down
wallpaper
to
too.
the,
Very cute.
thank you. And it comes in their signature stretch and no ironing required. Super duper comfy.
And if you had a summer Zoom call that you had to do from home, you could wear this and it'd look very put together.
Very put together. You could pop that collar.
Yeah.
And normally these are $74 down to just $34.
Okay, now I thought this was a flat iron for your hair.
Yes, no. This is a today exclusive. We're getting 30% off. The most innovative iron for your clothes you've ever seen. So this is called the Nori Press.
Okay.
It's a 3-in-1. So it's going to press, it's going to steam, and it's going to iron your clothes.
Neat.
Yeah, you don't even need an ironing board. And check out this video. I mean, it's so cool. It's almost like a hair straightening iron.
It is.
2 flat hot plates, and you just drag it down. Put the
look,
garment in
it's
between.
good for travel,
and
too.
it's so light. It's great for travel.
Okay.
And such a great deal on this. So normally $120. We're getting it for $84.
Okay.
And this is I mean, we use the word game changer a lot, but it really is.
No, yeah, and you got me with the cute colors,
I know,
too.
right? Such
Just
cute
on
colors.
the pastels alone. Okay.
Okay, so you guys love Laneige. We have a brand new launch, and you know their viral overnight lip mask that everybody talks about? So this is going to be your next K-Beauty lip obsession. So this is called Laneige's Juice Pop Box Lip Tint. And oh my gosh, it's such a juicy color. It's so shiny and wonderful, and it's packed with ceramides and peptides, so it's going to hydrate as it tints.
Nice.
And there are 8 different shades, and you can layer it up. So, you know, you can go subtle, or you can get that, like, the great pop of color that you have. Yes, it's buildable.
Okay.
And just $23, and it feels so good on.
K-pop pink.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so next up, we're getting up to 33% off this adorable little 2-in-1. This is called Tiki Tunes.
Oh, it's a speaker, too?
Yeah, so it's a Bluetooth portable speaker and this great little flameless tiki. And they're water resistant, so you can throw it in your bag, go to the beach, go to the pool, picnic, even in the backyard. And I just love it. Creates that summer vibe,
Really fun.
right?
Yeah, you ever want your kids to camp in the backyard? They could have this and listen to
this,
music.
and yes, and it's rechargeable via USB, and I mean, it lasts up to 9 hours on a single charge. So, I mean, this is a great deal. So just $34 plus free shipping.
Okay.
And last but not least, I mean,
I love a pillow
just
refresh.
feel this.
Yes.
I know this is from Purple, and this is their Cloud pillow.
Okay.
20% off, and it's called Cloud for a reason. I mean, it is a down alternative, but a premium down coat. It's engineered to feel like down, but without the allergens. And the best part is it's designed to stay fluffy, so it's not going to pancake. You can put this in the washing machine.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and it's not, I mean, this
And
is
how
a
much?
good one. So normally $69, it's down to just $55. So do it up. Make your hotel-style bed for Memorial Day. So
little refresh. All right, Chassie, thank you. And you're back with more Memorial Day finds in the third hour. If you want to shop any of them, you can scan the QR code or check out today.com/shop.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be good, guys. Welcome back this morning on Today Food, celebrating AAPI Heritage Month with our friend, Chef Judy Ju. She's a television host, owner of the delicious Soul Bird. It's a Korean fast casual restaurant. They got multiple locations across the country, including right here in New York. Judy here getting us ready for a summer of grilling as we head into Memorial Day weekend. And by the way, speaking of Soul Bird, there's a location right down the street at Madison Square Garden. You have one.
Yes.
Where the Knicks are playing tonight. And
Yes.
that place must be jumping.
Fingers crossed, yeah. I mean, what a game the other day.
Incredible.
Incredible.
What a comeback.
I am all for
and
the
is Soul Bird
Knicks.
just like the lines around the whole building?
Yes, hopefully.
All right,
Yeah,
good. We're
trying. Yeah, definitely.
All right, Chef, well, walk us through, you know, the Korean cuisine can be intimidating to some people because there's foods that they're not sure how to use, but it looks very easy here.
It is easy, and now because the world is so global, you can just buy all these ingredients online anywhere.
Awesome.
So it's great.
What are we going to start with? The marinating of the onions?
Yeah, well, we're going to do onions, but we're going to marinate the shrimp. So
Gotcha.
why not light up the barbecue with something a little bougie?
Yeah.
Like go a little bit high end.
Sure.
And going bougie. And so this is just some vegetable oil, and then we got all of the great Korean traditional flavorings and aromatics. We got ginger, garlic. You know, I like to grate those right down. And then fish sauce, fermented ingredients with tons of umami, a bit of sugar. You need some sugar and spice and everything nice.
Yes, you do.
As well as some mirin in there, some sweetness. And then the 2 secret ingredients, fermented soybean paste. This is called doenjang. This is Korea's version of miso. So again, another fermented ingredient. So incredibly
Like you said, if you get this, if you go to someone wants to make this and they go online, they get the recipe. recipes. They can just go to Amazon and buy these things, even if they're not familiar with them.
Absolutely, yes. And then gochujang, and I know you grew up kind of eating this.
I did.
Right?
Yeah, one of my best friends was Korean growing up.
Yeah.
And I got a good taste of the Korean cuisine at a young age. It was excellent.
So fun. And
Love
so
it.
this is, spicy, sweet, everything that you want. Got the garlic, you got the ginger, a little bit floral, and then you also mix in some of the onions. Gonna mix that all together. And then, of course, we have our delicious, juicy, succulent shrimp.
Yep.
And then we're just gonna add that in there. And I like to keep the tails on, just because you gotta go a little bit luxury.
I love that.
So, Judy, how do you feel about frozen shrimp versus
good
fresh?
question.
You know what? Most
Savannah.
shrimp is frozen.
Yeah.
So I think it's absolutely fine, and I just think that you should just go a little bit big.
Yeah.
A little bit. You want
This
it
is
juicy.
delicious, by the way.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
How long do you want these to sit, Chef?
You let that sit as long as
Like
you
overnight sort of thing, or like at least an hour?
Yeah, at least an hour. But again, shrimp
smells
really
good.
sucks up all that flavor, and then let's just throw that.
The bougie Korean shrimp barbecue.
Exactly. Throw it on.
Throw it all on?
Yeah. Oh, no, you don't want to crowd your pants, but that's all right.
Okay,
We can have a party here.
Get back in.
It's totally fine.
Shrimp, get back in there.
Let that go. And then we have some marinade. We brush that on. You just got to keep it juicy.
Yeah.
Keep it lovely, just like
So once these go on the grill, you got to keep an eye on them. Do they go fast?
Yes, they go
or-
fast.
Yeah.
Seafood always cooks really quickly.
Well, like a minute or two aside. How do you know when it's done?
Well, you get these beautiful charred marks, and they curl up slightly. You don't want them to get too tight.
Got it.
Right? And then we're going to garnish with some chopped chives.
How's the shrimp, guys?
Fantastic.
So good. And so different, Judy. It's really
different.
delicious.
Like,
And really
you can't pinpoint
easy.
the flavors. They
That's
all
what's
just
great about
work
that
together
Korean
so well.
cuisine is how.
Did you taste it, Cars?
How much it can change. We're so used to the barbecue flavor
Yes.
profiles.
Just
This
try it.
changes
This is
everything.
delicious. Watch you go.
Oh, that's not fair.
Yeah. It's an easy way to jazz up something that people are used to.
Yeah.
Light up the grill this Memorial Day, but light it up in a way that nobody's seen before.
Wow.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.
Delish.
And then we're going to go classic here.
Yes.
So this is classic kalbi, Korean barbecue, beef barbecue. This is something that is so famous out of Korea. And this marinade is super, super easy. We've got mirin in here. Maybe you want to
No, I can't let these
cooking
burn.
in there.
Yep.
And then I'm going to put in some Asian pear. So you can use Bosch pears or conference pears. These also not only add sweetness, but also there's an enzyme in it that tenderizes the meat naturally.
Oh.
So
Can you get that Asian pear at like any market, or do you got to go somewhere special for that?
No,
It's readily available?
Asian pears are kind of available now.
Okay.
We have roasted toasty sesame oils.
Really appreciate your commitment to those shrimp too, buddy.
Yes, looking good.
Bro, maybe TV and I know these shrimp go bad.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
I got some pepper, I got sugar. So again, this is salty and sweet. Everything is kind of hitting all of the senses here.
What is that?
Oh
This
man,
is
the
ginger.
smell.
Ginger,
Incredible.
I got soy sauce in there, garlic. You cannot.
Wait, so you serve this separate. You serve the shrimp with some rice. But you could do a surf and turf sort of vibe here and just combine all these.
Absolutely, definitely. I got some salt.
Yep.
And then
I know,
we're
it's
going to
delish.
blend this all up.
Okay.
Do you know how to press go?
Okay.
There you go.
All right, whatever.
That's so
Get it turned on. I'll figure that out. And that's what it comes out to.
Turns out like
There
this.
you go.
Yum.
Okay.
Oh, and then we've got the special cut. This is flanken thin.
Oh, what?
Flanken, yeah.
Flanken thin?
Flanken thin. Flanken thin. So this is the short rib
You're
cut.
so old man today.
Along the bone.
So do you ask the butcher to slice that rib?
So good, nice and
Flanken thin
fatty, marbled.
And you
thin.
ask the butcher to do that?
You can ask the butcher to do that, or you could just buy a sirloin and slice it relatively thin.
All right, Chef, we got 1 minute, FYI.
Marinate this, and then put it in a bag. Get those on there, and you're going to massage. Let this sit overnight if you can. And that'll get really full of flavor. I love this. You're good.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, you're familiar with it with the grill.
I'm right at home.
Yeah, there you
These
go.
look delicious. These look thin and might cook quicker than you think too, right?
Yes. A lot of times we cook on the table, Korean barbecue.
I love that.
Because it
So
cooks
fun.
very quickly. You just take it off when you want
eat
to.
it hot.
You eat it hot. It's full
Pair
of
it
all
with
that
a wine.
great umami. And then you serve it with some vegetables. You can wrap it in leaves like we've got here.
Oh.
With kimchi.
Oh, you're getting us
Our
pumped up for the weekend,
condiment.
Chef.
Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank
we got
you.
a grill this weekend, guys.
Judy, this is fun and very accessible. Like
very accessible.
Yeah,
It
full
may
of
seem
flavor.
challenging to people watching, but challenge yourself, maybe on a special weekend, to get these ingredients and make it.
And totally addictive.
Hey, cheers to AAPI Heritage Month. Cheers to the weekend. Thank
Clean
you,
Plate
Chef.
Club. Thank
Find
you,
these recipes,
Judy.
of course, at our website, today.com/food. And we're back with the third and fourth hours of today, which will be stellar. I promise you that. After a quick check of your local news, weather, and these messages. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.